Hey, everybody. I am so excited that you guys are here, and I hope that some others will come out. If you have a minute, make sure that you give me a thumbs up. If you are on Angie's channel, give her a thumbs up. And if you have a second, throw it out on your community tab because this is not my normal day to be having a live. So we're going to have a Sunday sit and chat instead of my What's Up Wednesday. So thank you everyone for being here. And if you are listening to us as a replay, maybe you're listening on the podcast or you're over at Rumble or somewhere else, we want to thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. But my guest today is Angie and Angela up here today from Me and You Acres. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. And hello to everybody in chat. I can see they're all chatting there. So hello.
Yeah, I love it when they get started before we do. I think we've got, I'll just go back up to the top. We've got Big Valley Living here. Oh, look, they got on there and they put some links in for us. I do have pinned to the top. If you are new to Angie and her channel, she and her husband have a channel together, and we're going to learn all about it in just a little bit. But if you aren't subscribed or you want to learn more about her, at the very top, there should be a link directly to their channel that I've pinned. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Nanny Tam. We have Leanne with Mennonite Farmhouse, Michelle with Big Valley Living, or JJ, or both. Rena LaRue. Who else do we have in here? Rebecca Suburban Hillbilly. Oh, Tony from Kettle Kitchens here. Chris and Larry said that just stopping by to say hi. Hello. Thank you for stopping in. Good to see you. I noticed you've got some Freeze Dry Fridays going back up again. It's good to see you guys up and active again. I'm so excited. Benjamin, Little Homestead by the Beach is coming from your channel. So welcome. There's a little link I can tell where you're coming from usually. And I think I got a quick hello to everyone. If I missed anyone, I am so sorry. We are just so excited that you're here. So I invited Angie on for a couple of reasons. One, we've never actually got to sit and visit before, so this is exciting to me. I've been following her for a while. She was talking behind the screens how the content hasn't been the same as it was, and had been wondering why I hadn't seen you. And so if you choose to, you can share with us in a little bit about that. But we were recently in a collaboration together, and I was like, oh yeah, I think we did the $10 pantry challenge together. Their stock at September. Did you do
I did one video, yes. Lynn
Yeah.
from Homestead.
Yes.
Yes, she put it out as an open collaboration, and I love the idea. And
Yeah.
so I don't get to the grocery store all too much. So I took because there was 5 Fridays in September. So I took $10 a week and then went and got $50 of supplies.
Yeah.
And so that was a neat little collaboration that was put together. So yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And then from there, I learned about your collaboration, which we're going to talk about maybe a little towards the end of our chat today. I always like to get to know a little bit more about you and your channel and all that stuff first, and then we get into all the other exciting news. You know, got to keep people wanting to hang around for the big announcement at the end. So
Right.
I have found that I like to ask my guests just to go ahead and introduce yourself. You know you better than anyone else. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Am I the only one that, like, when it comes to this question, I freeze?
No, I think people hate when I do it.
Is there any question you want to know in particular, or?
Well, some people just like to say, I am so and so or whatever, but I can just get straight into some questions about you if that is the way you're
I'm
more comfortable with.
experiencing a little bit of like nerves right now. Normally I have Mr. Mike by my side. Now it's like
Oh, I'm easy-going, and if I ask you something you're not comfortable with, you can just say pass, no big deal.
Yeah, I'm an open book. You can ask away.
So, here's a good one. Tell me, what made you decide to start a YouTube channel?
Well, my initial, like I kind of put some videos out there a little bit throughout the years, because before we moved to where we are now, we were living in the city, and I was trying to prepare myself for hopeful one day country living. And so I posted a few videos out there, kind of got into the community a little bit, but then life just got busy and we moved out here. And I didn't, before we moved out here, I didn't post a lot. But then when we did, it was like all these new things. And I wanted to share the experiences for our grandkids, because at the time that we first moved out here, right now we're building our homestead. But when we first moved out here, we had a cabin. And I just remember thinking, I wish that I could go back and see my grandparents and see how they started their, they didn't have a big farm or anything, but they had small plot of land, they gardened, they canned. And so I wish I could go back and have that knowledge of from their time. And so that I had one grandson at the time. And so I was like, it'd be neat to video this and just have journals for them, kind of thing. And then it turned into, we had 3 grandkids, and it turned into, I found a community, and I got a bunch of friends and subscribers that became friends. And so it just turned into something more than I thought it would. And I keep in mind always it's for the grandkids. So, and the children too, because when they're a little bit older, I'm sure they're going to want to learn to, you know, can or see where mom and dad started and where they are now. So that's the whole idea behind the channel. Yeah.
That is so cool. You got me right in the feels. I love that story. That is awesome.
Yes, my grandparents were, and my parents were both huge influences in our life, but my parents became the, you know, they had to work, both had to have full-time jobs, and so my grandparents had that knowledge of, I'll never forget, one of the things that's never left my memory is I went into my grandparents', I guess, food cellar. Some people call it cantina, food cellar. And they had, just for the two of them, 50-pound bags of potatoes and onions. And I couldn't, for the life of me, understand why they would have that many potatoes. I was young, and as I grew up, that never left me, and now I get it. And so I want to plant those seeds into, you know, the grandkids and the
Mhm.
kids. And I was a late bloomer when it came to this kind of lifestyle. So I'm hoping my kids will one day, if not live in the country, at least prep a little bit,
Mhm.
and yeah, and learn the old style of things. So
I love those aha moments. I had one, and you don't have them sometimes until you've done something yourself or you've done it for a while.
mhm.
And I'll never forget, I was gifted like a case of green beans from my grandparents as one of my gifts. And I thought, oh, green beans. Okay. And they said, well, we knew how much you love them. They tasted so good to you. I think I might have been pregnant with my first child, you know, young newlyweds. And you know, things taste so good that are fresh when you're pregnant.
Right.
And then they gave me that, and I just thought, oh, what a lovely gesture and stuff. But not until I had my own garden and I grew my own green beans and then had to work them and pick them, you know, and then can them and process them and do all that to understand what a labor of love, what a gift that really was, you know. So a lot of times people, when you give them something out of your garden, they're like, oh, okay, thanks. And they don't understand
No.
when you're giving them that, you're giving them your hard work because you had to fight off bugs and disease and all these things.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
This summer, because I've had 2 gardens since we moved up here. So we moved up here in 2019, and originally we had 2 parcels of land, and one had a cabin on it, and we sold that to where we moved to the other parcel of land, and that's where we're building. So I've been without a garden for 2 years. And so this year we finally were able to grow some of our own food, and it did really well for a first year garden. But my middle grandson, he is almost 4, and he came over about a month ago, and I showed him my garden, and he's going to be my little gardener. I know it growing up. I
Mhm.
know he's going to be that, you know, he's going to want to learn it all. And he just kept saying, I gave him a tour and I let him try some fresh veggies. And then he would come back out of the garden and come sit with us. And then he'd be, Grandma, can I go pick tomatoes? And I'm like, you go, baby. And so he would go up to the garden, come back with a handful of tomatoes, and just sit there and eat them. And it was one of those like aha moments again, but it was more
Uh-huh.
okay, the seeds are getting planted and they're my little gardens, right? So
Oh, I love it. I
yeah.
love that. That's awesome. Before I ask you another question, we've had a few more people come in, and I'll say hello to Thorhaven Farm.
Hi guys.
Um, we have Dave Knight coming over from your channel. I
Hi
think we
Dave.
have Alfonso here, Wendy Benjamin, another from your channel, Billy Lee
Hi Billy
Lawhon.
Lee.
Am I going to say that wrong? Um, Suburban Hillbillies here. So welcome in everybody that I missed earlier. So we've kind of established when or why you started a channel, but when? So how long have you been creating content, and did you have an open channel before that? Because like I always ask people that because I had a channel just so that I could like actively participate in the YouTube community but not have content for several years. I was like a lurker, you know.
Me
And
too.
so yeah, I was like, and I'm finding that I'm not the only one.
No.
So tell me your story.
Well, originally I did have like I put out a few videos, but I wasn't video savvy. I didn't want to do YouTube, but I put out a couple. That was probably 10 years ago. And so there is some videos of us from like our city house back then, but it's not many. And then I got into the groove of okay, I want to learn as much as I can while I'm in the city, and I started implementing all of the strategies that I would have out in an area like this. And I started doing grocery shopping once a month, or learning how to can certain things, or I started watching other people's YouTube channels and soaking up all that information for when I came out here. And there was quite a few channels that helped lead me here. So and then when we moved out here, I was like, you know, why not? And then the grandkids can see what it's like to start from where we are, because I picture them in 10 years, 20 years, and what they're going to know our place to be. And they're going to, they're going to remember it more so when they're in their late childhood or teenage years. But where did grandma and papa start from? And if you work hard, where it can take you if you follow your dreams. And so when I had that in the back of my mind, that's when I was like, okay, I want to create content for them and document our journey. There's been many times I've gone back on my own videos and I have seen, like, especially now because we're building, where this place that we're at currently was nothing but forest. And so to see where it's at now in just 2 and a bit years, it's good to look back on. So
That's awesome. Tony says he loves your story.
Oh, thank you, Tony. Hello, by the way.
And we have another from your channel.
Oh,
Hello
there's
and
hey
welcome.
guys.
So how many years, I guess, have you been making content then?
Inconsistently consistent with that though. I've been making them since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when we moved up here, April of 2019, I'd say. And so we started documenting that journey. And then it's been, depending on what's going on in our lives, sometimes I was consistent, and then like right now I'm not. I want to be, but so consistently inconsistent for 4 years.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And we each have our own journey, and that's just, the ups and downs with it. I'm sure you have some people who just follow you no matter what you do because they like you and what you do, and those are the ones you want anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, have you found that your goals then have probably changed a little bit from when you first started to now? I mean, your what whys and your whats are there, but now that you have been doing it a while, do you have a different mindset about it?
About homesteading or about YouTube?
Probably maybe both even. They probably go together, but like your channel direction, like originally it was just for documenting, but
Mhm.
now do you find yourself trying to make content for others and um
I go back and forth, I think, a little bit because I do want to make content that people want to see, but I always keep the kids and grandkids in the forefront. And so I wouldn't post anything that I wouldn't want them to know about us or want them to see.
mhm,
And so like I do the good and the bad. So we had last year was a crazy year for us. There was quite a few things that happened. Um, and I wanted to show that that's part of the journey as well. As far as the channel, I know where I want it to be. I just don't know how to get there right yet
yeah.
because we're so like, I'm hoping January things calm down. I was saying to you earlier. So Mike, my husband, he's in school, he's working 15 to 20 hours a week, school full time. We're building, I'm working full time. And it's not the excuse, but it is the factor. And
Mhm.
we're just always on the go. And so it's hard. I don't know how some channels do it because I know there's others out there that work full time and I don't know how they do it. And kudos to them, but I haven't found that balance. So I'm hoping come January, things calm down a little bit around here. Mike won't be so, out there and he'll be more, work and house and we'll get things done. And once we're in the house, though, I do want to start recording a lot more. And that we will be in the house come we're saying it. We thought we were going to be in the house this summer, but we're not. But we will be in that house for sure. We're almost there. So next spring,
Yay.
yes,
You
I'm ready.
you will have your winter in your new place.
Yes, this is our third winter. We're housed in a barn, or we built our pole barn first, and so we're housed in the pole barn inside a trailer. And so this is the trailer we're in, and so this will be our third winter, and I'm ready to just go home.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a really good feeling when you can get
Mhm.
settled in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your content might change slightly because right now you're in builder mode. What are some other things that you like to do on your channel other than that, like cooking or,
Yeah.
gardening? What
Before
what kind of
we
things do you who are you and what do you guys like to do?
before we started this huge task, a lot of my videos, like what I like to do, I like, making salves, tinctures, food storage, gardening, the daily life of, like the chores we had, just documenting things more so. But my things that I like I don't know how to put it. I like more the old school of things, and so I'm there's how do I put it? I like more the old style of things, and I'm learning, and there's some things that I do know, but I've noticed since we've moved here and we're doing this, I haven't been doing that as much. There's not a lot of like if you look back at my older videos, there's more content towards, natural living, making things for yourself. I absolutely love if someone puts a video out or if I see something, I'm like, how can I make it myself? And so that's one of my passions. I don't want people to do it for me. I want to be able to do it myself. And Mike sometimes has fun with that. And sometimes like we just groomed our dog about a week ago. And I've done her before, but she's a little tricky. And I'm like, I have to, he goes, why don't we just take her to the groomer? And I'm like, I want to be able to do it myself. I just want to, I love that. I love, it's like a challenge for me and I love that. So there was a lot of that on my channel before the build. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most is settling in and having all my tools back. Like everything is mainly, we only have what we need, absolutely need. And so all of my, my canning supplies, I do have my dehydrator out, but my mixer, everything is just stored away until we get into the house. So I can't wait to have all that back.
That will be great for you. I'm
Yeah.
hopeful for you to get that very soon.
Yes.
I love that you do tinctures and stuff, and I love that you mentioned it's kind of like a challenge you of trying something new. That's where I am too. It's not always about money
Mhm.
because if you know anything about crafting, you can go buy yourself a quilt so much cheaper than you can make one. I
Yeah,
mean, it's just kind of the way it is with a lot of products, but to
that
be able to say, I made this with my own hands, or, I produced this out of my land or whatever.
that
There's
is
a sense of
I'm
pride.
yeah, it's that fascinates me. And it's
Yeah.
like not who can we get to do it? It's like how can I do it? And
Yes.
so that I it's those mini challenges in my brain, and it's like once I learn how to do it, I either say, "Okay, I've done it once and I'm good," or I continue to do it. But I love learning how to do it for myself.
You and I are just right on task with each other on that one because that's how I actually came up with my name, Inquisitive Farmwife, because I love to learn new things. Like I want to learn a new skill. Like I want to make my own homemade butter. Okay, I did that, and I'll continue that if I want or not. I may choose to make, tomorrow I may learn how to do woodworking or something. Whatever it is, I want to learn it and understand it. And then,
I just did, back in the spring, early spring into late spring, early summer, I learned pottery, and
okay.
I won't be able to do it again this year right now, but I like, when I made a bowl, and I made, what was supposed to be a mug, but turned into a pen holder. I made a few items, and it's those things I don't want anybody like, if people make me a gift, that touches my soul, and so I like to do that as well. I don't want
Mhm.
store-bought gifts. I love homemade, thoughtful, and that's where a lot of my passions are, so
Yeah, it's our love language, you
yes,
know? Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So this person watched you with loofah sponge making is when they started years ago. So do you remember that, what that was all about? Did you
I
maybe grow loofah
I
or put
did
it in
grow
soap?
loofahs.
Yeah.
I did grow loofahs. I don't remember doing a video on it, though. Who said Billy Lee said that?
Yes.
Did I put a video? I know I made loofah soaps once, but I don't remember if I did a video on that. Wow, if I did, that was, like, in the beginning, so that was a
We will
long
have to
time
all
ago.
go check this out. I've gotta go back and see those decade-old ones. I had to delete one of my videos, that I did because my daughter was in it, and we were just goofing off, just learning, like, literally how to put a video up on YouTube, and now I'm sure I would get strikes and stuff because, we had music going and stuff,
Right.
but it's funny to go back and see yourself,
I know.
forever ago.
I know,
Hey,
I was
thank
so, like
you.
I remember this one video I was in, and I kept it up because it was part of our journey, but I was just so, like, quiet and nervous and, like, "Welcome to my channel," and, like, I was just very soft-spoken, and that can be who I am, but I'm more like, that bubbly, happy type of person, so I look back
Mhm.
at that video and I'm like, Who was that girl?"
Yeah. We definitely come out of our shells a little bit. I know I had done the, Everything I Will and Won't Can Again that Leanne hosted a few years ago. That was one of my first videos. I mean, not the first video. The first
Okay.
video was of content was more of a thank you for a prize I had won. And I was like, well, this is how I'm going to get in here. But you could definitely tell I was like, this, this. And now I'm just like, so you do kind of
I have another video of back in the city, and our neighbors, we had our small backyard, and then there's fencing, and there's neighbors, and so, again, I was so embarrassed to just be talking to a camera that I was like, "This is my garden, and if you open the gate," and then it was just so quiet, and now I'm like, I have a camera everywhere I go typically, and I don't care who's there anymore because I know what I'm doing, but
And the response was, "You had sold some and were going to make more to sell." So, wow, you're gonna have to go back and figure that one out.
Wow. Yes, I will.
So, speaking of cameras, I'm curious, what kind of equipment do you have, and what do you wish you had that you don't, or what you would have done differently for anyone who's looking into possibly making some content?
Originally, I had a very expensive Canon flip camera. It was I saved up for quite a while for it. And I got it, and it was like I had tripod, microphone, everything. And then when one of our goats were giving birth, I was trying to record, and another goat's babies that were a couple weeks old were jumping around like baby goats do, and knocked my camera over and broke it. So now I just use an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I have all of my equipment. Um, so for a tripod, I just have this thing. It's from Joby, and so it's a really good one. I've had a couple, and this one extends out, comes down if you want to talk to
I
the camera.
love those that do that.
Yeah, and then the bottom, comes out. So this one was a really good purchase. And then my mic, I use it and I don't. If I'm stationary, I'll use it, but it's just one of these things that go into your phone.
Mine
It's
looks
not.
similar, but it doesn't have the little plug-in direct to the phone. Is that a DJ or a DJI?
It's a
Like
Rode.
a Rode, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Rode, and I like it, and it may be operator error. The only thing I found is that when I was recording, I'd have it plugged into my phone, and I can't have a phone case on when I use this, so I didn't like that.
Mhm.
And then the other thing is sometimes like my phone was on a tripod and I wasn't moving, and then there'd be a quick blip and there'd be no sound for
I've
like a
heard that with the
millisecond.
Rode. Mhm.
Yeah. If other than that, those two things, they are good quality. But that's my complaint about this guy. And then for storage, I just have this thing. I put all the videos, all the uncut videos on this.
Okay, that is totally new to me because, see, I use my phone to
Yeah.
record too, and I've been thinking about getting a camera, but I can put a lot on my phone. I've just been deleting everything
Yeah.
after a certain amount of time. But what is that thing that you just showed us?
It's
It's some sort of
from,
external something.
yeah, I think this one's 4 terabytes. And so it holds a lot. I've been using it for 2 years. It has all our edited and unedited clips on it.
Wow.
I think we still have a terabyte and a half left. And so what I do is I have an iPhone and then I have a MacBook. And so I
Mhm.
transfer all my stuff to my MacBook and then I transfer it right to here. And so I don't store it on my computer and I don't store it on my phone. And so that takes up, I mean, the videos take up a lot of space. So that,
Yeah.
yeah. So that, I think this was Canadian. I think it was about
What's
$100.
it called? I'm sorry if I'm showing my computer illiteracy here.
Backwards. It's Lacey,
But, like, is it
an
called something
external,
special?
I
Yeah.
think it's an external hard drive.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So that just looks different than the one that we years ago we got an external hard drive when our computer crashed and we took it somewhere and they put it on this thing, but it looked different than that. So that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out if it was the same thing.
The older
So
ones
very cool.
are quite big. We have
Yeah.
older ones and they're
Yeah.
big. So that's what I loved about this. And it came with the case.
Yeah.
And so it's very, you can travel with it, and it's small, it's compact, and it's done us really well. So
Maybe that's what I need to look into rather than an actual camera. Because the only problem I have is storage because, well, and the only thing I don't like about the iPhone, the good camera, you need to face it like this,
mhm.
but I don't like doing that. I always have it like this so that I can see myself to make sure my head's not cut off or that it's actually still recording. It always
Yeah,
makes me so nervous.
I know. I do use the front facing if we're doing something. So like,
Mhm.
or I use this side if we're doing something. So we just stained our log cabin. And so I use this side because I could set it up and I saw the area. But I
Mhm.
do use the front camera quite a bit. There are certain tricks. I've done a couple of them. You could put like a mirror behind. So if you have it on a tripod, and
Smart.
yeah, you could put a mirror so you could see the angle. And then if you have an Apple Watch, you can also see what the camera's seeing on your watch before you
I
start.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
I just started using the Apple Watch again. Like I just put it on yesterday for the first time in months. So, but
My
I have
hus
done that before.
my husband gave me one and I wore it for like 2 weeks and then I didn't wear it anymore because he got it for me because he didn't want me I go do all the chores. All the animal stuff is mine, my deal. He will occasionally help me bring a bale of hay out because it's easier for him to run the loader and then I cut the stuff off, rather than having to get in and out and all that. He will do that for me every once in a while. But sometimes a cow can knock you down or whatever, and your phone goes flying and you don't have it. So he wanted me to have the watch so I could call for help if I needed.
Right.
And I never could get the thing to work. I would, do the "Hey Siri" and it would never work, and I'd be tapping on it, and I was like, "Oh, forget it." Or
Right.
or else I'd take my wrist like this, and it would push the button, and so I just gave up. But now I may have to look into it again. That
Yeah,
that's that's cool.
I wear it occasionally. I didn't wear it for a while because it actually gave me a rash.
Oh,
A pretty bad one where it took almost a month to heal. And
I could
I
see
cleaned
that.
the back up, so I don't know if it's just me. So I take it off at night now, and I'm just gonna give it another shot. But even still, like, I don't know, this was just after 1 day of wearing it. It's like a rash, so I don't know.
Yeah, that may not work. I'm the same way. I don't like it when it would get wet and sweaty because
Mhm.
when I'm hand milking, you're washing everything and then water drips down and yeah. You
Yeah.
and we have a lot of similarities, but yeah.
Even to our names, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's an Angie thing. So, one of your followers has a question. Does Angie realize this live stream is also streaming right now on Me and You
Yes.
Acres channel? Just want to double check. Yes. So I'm
Yes.
the host, and if you want to see all of the comments in that everyone's making, you have to come to my channel to see all the comments. You'll only be able to see comments if you're on Angie's channel. You'll only be able to see comments people are making on her channel. But I try to pop them up every once in a while. But if
Yeah.
you want to be in that full conversation, you will have to come to my channel. But yeah, we actually have I have the upgraded version so we can stream it to 3 different locations. And we
Awesome.
thought, why not go ahead and stream it to her channel too? So yeah, absolutely. And then that way, if anyone wants to come back and watch it that is one of her followers that doesn't know me, they'll be able to get to watch her because it'll be on her channel. So that'll be great.
Yeah, I didn't know that StreamYard had that feature. So when you told me about it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I went ahead and purchased the upgrade. That was just one of the bonuses of why I did it. I got into a kick there where I thought I was going to do podcast. I do podcast on YouTube, but I was going to turn these into a podcast elsewhere. But
Mhm.
then again, one of those deals where time, I just don't have the time to learn that new skill to be able to do it. But StreamYard will hold that material for me if I ever decide to open up beyond YouTube to do podcasting.
Oh,
I will
that's
have like this recorded and other people could hear it, like on
right.
wherever.
That's
And
cool.
someone said they got a rash on their belly to the nickel button. Oh,
Oh,
wow. That had to be uncomfortable.
a little bit.
Yeah. And I think we had a few other people come in. Lynn Leoki, I don't know if we said hello. Brampton Gardner, hello.
Oh.
I don't think we said hi to Xander. He slid in a while back.
Mhm.
Um, oh, thank you, Nanny Tam. I try to be friendly. Greg, hello. Can you do a punch fist? Thank you. Hello, ladies. Angie. So I'm guessing this is something special you do? Or do you mean they're saying give a thumbs up to everybody? I bet that's it. Maybe, reminding everyone to give a thumbs up on our channel.
Yeah, because I don't know. Angie, can you do
Yeah.
a punch fist? No, I don't know what that, other than like what you said. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah, there we go. Let's see, it should go this way. There we go. We need
Right.
to
Oh,
each other. Yeah. No,
yeah,
other
there.
way.
What?
Other
Oh,
way.
it looks right on my
I know,
side.
but go the other way. There we go.
Okay.
Fist bump.
Right.
Oh, all the way in you're Canada, right? So,
Yes.
Kansas to Canada. Um, so if I missed any other questions, bring them back up. And if you do have a question for us, make sure the best way for me to find it, because I try to focus on my guest and the chat, and sometimes I miss things. If you have an important question you want to ask either of us, just put it in all caps, or if you have
Yeah.
something you want to add, we'll be able to find it a little bit easier though. So yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, a new one in the
Juanita.
house. Oh, no. It's not the one
Juanita's.
I meant to put,
Oh,
Thorhaven.
hello,
Leave it
hello.
all here new. I love my Canadian friends. I that's the one thing about YouTube that I really love is all the friendships that I made. I've got
Yeah,
a couple of ladies that I am very, very close with, and we talk actually like daily. And I would have never guessed I would have got that out of YouTube. I mean,
I
some
know.
of them I would there's a couple I would consider, very, very close. I would, yeah, my best
Yeah.
of friends. So yeah,
Aw. Yeah, I
yeah.
have there's a group of us, and there's a homesteading conference that's near us that just started up a couple of years ago. And so a bunch of YouTube channels came down for it. And a lot of them came and visited our homestead. And so that the first year everybody came here and then went back to another because we didn't have anywhere for people to sleep. So there was another YouTuber that had some land up here, and so they all went back to their place and stayed, and then we all went to the homesteading conference the next day. And so
Oh,
now
cool.
we're trying to do it as a yearly thing. So I've met quite a few friends, and we talk all the time. And so I never expected that either, because the first couple years that I got into YouTube, yes, there was a few people that I connected with, but it wasn't off of YouTube. And so it's merged into now we talk on a regular basis, and it's nice. It's nice.
We have a question for you. Are you in Eastern Canada?
Eastern Ontario. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Actually, there was someone else that had said hello from Eganville, and we're not far from there.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
Glad you saw that.
Anita had said that. Yeah, we're not far from there at all.
There was a comment about and eat lasagna. I think I remember a story about lasagna at your conference, right?
Yes. So Thorhaven, who is I don't know if he's still here or they are still here. So Darren he had to come down for a work visit. And so we're like, well, if you're going to be in the area, stop in for dinner. And so we did. And it was the one day I had all my ducks in a row. I had everything planned out for when it was supposed to be cooked and all that stuff. And I knew what time he was arriving. And then somebody from where I used to live happened to find where we lived, because they knew our old address, but not the current one where we moved to. And they just drove until they saw us. And they popped in the same day Darren was coming over for dinner. And so I burnt the lasagna. And so now every year when they come for when all the YouTubers come, I make lasagna. And it's turned into this famous lasagna. Some years it's good and some years it's burnt.
Did you have a video on the lasagna, the recipe? I think I remember watching one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's a couple out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea who runs the conference up there, but you have someone from your channel wanting to know more information. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that maybe closer to conference time, do you put stuff maybe on your community tab and stuff like that, like flyers
Facebook,
and stuff?
yeah, you can look it up on Facebook. If you go to Facebook, Juanita, you can go to Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference, and then most of us are on there. And the person who created it, Marcy, She runs that Facebook group. It happens in May. I think the date, if I'm not mistaken, this year is May 4th or 6th that it's happening again, or for 2024. And the name of the town is, I'm drawing a blank, but I'm sure there might be somebody that remembers the town. It's from Eganville, it would probably be about an hour and a half to 2 hours, because it's about an hour drive for us. So, McDonald's Corners. That's the town that it was held in, McDonald's Corners.
It's an interesting name.
Mhm.
Leanne reminded me that it was in Noodle November. That's probably when I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, may the 4th be with you. I love that. Yeah. So, Noodle November was a collaboration that you were in last year. So, speaking of collaborations, is that something you enjoy doing? And what kind of collaborations do you join in on?
I do. Not so much the last year because of, like, we're busy.
Hi.
But I do enjoy collabs. Um, I can't even, I'm drawing a blank as to which ones I've done. I've done Noodle November, um, the grocery one, the stock at September. I took part in a few like 2 or 3 years ago as well, and I just can't remember which they were, but I do, like, I love cooking,
Mhm.
and I love watching the collabs because I get a lot of ideas from it, and sometimes I'll take
Yeah.
them as they are, and then but sometimes I'll Angie it up and make, something. I'm like, "Oh, that's almost perfect for me, but I wanna add this," and,
Yeah.
so I do like collabs. I just, again, it's life right now,
Yeah.
so
But even though in all your busyness, you seem to have found time to make your own collaboration, if I'm correct?
yes. Yes, it's my first one. Um, it started out as like a $5 meal challenge, and now it's still, the whole goal is to create a meal for $5 or under. And so it starts tomorrow. And we have a bunch of channels that are involved. There's 12 in total. I don't know if you want me to say all the names of the channels.
Yes.
I took a photo of them. And so we have Lynn from Bucket List Homestead, Angela from the Inquisitive Farmwife, Tanya from Low Family Adventures, Tina from, I don't know if I'm going to say this wrong, Piedmont
Mhm,
Homestead,
Life in Piedmont, mhm.
and then Marilyn from Little Homestead by the Beach, Kendra from Plowman's Backyard, Pam from Hidden Blessings Homestead, Ashley from CNC Farm, Luann from Blackberry Rock Homestead, Penny from Open Hand Farm, and Mardi from Love the Land Every Day. And so the task is starting tomorrow. There's going to be, I kind of left it open because I know everybody has their own posting schedule, but this is going to be a week of breakfasts that are created for $5 and under. And the goal is to have at least 4 servings. So breakfast seems to be pretty okay as far as $5 and under. The challenge I think a lot of people are facing is the dinners. And
Mhm.
so trying to create a dinner for $5. But the whole reason that I thought of it was we had a big breakfast here. 2 of my adult children were here, 2 of their friends were here, 2 of my grandsons, and then Mike and I. And I made a really big dinner or breakfast. And I fed all of us, which was 8 people. I fed all of us with seconds for $6. And so when I told that to one
Wow.
of the people that were here, they couldn't believe it. And they were like, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Well, with help from my garden, but even if I didn't have to use my garden, it would have probably cost about $10." And I love though, I challenge myself to get myself motivated. I always challenge myself, like, how can I make this cheaper? How can I take 3 eggs and feed 5 people? Or, like, that's what my joy, where my joy comes in cooking. And so through talking with this person, it comes to be that they disclosed to me that they were having a hard time making ends meet. And they make a really good wage, and they're by themselves. They're a single individual, and they make a really good wage. And that hurt me, and because I know this person well, and that just it hurt. And so that's kind of where the idea, like, I wish I could show them how I make this or how I did it, or my other ideas. And I just like, it's weird because to try to make a video can be hard, but if you get me talking about it, it's like verbal, you know, it just won't stop. I'm like, oh, and you could do this and you could do that. And
Yeah.
so then about 2 or 3 days after that breakfast, I went to go grocery shopping for the stock at September. And I know there's been inflation. I've seen it, but and I have a big heart, so I notice certain things. But for some reason, this grocery trip was like I was walking through the grocery store as the person that was struggling. And I left upset. I left angry. The prices of things, I don't know why this was just so different because I'd seen them before. And that's where it started. That's where the idea started. And I wanted to see, you know, if we could feed a family of four, and for an individual person, because we all have different lifestyles and households. So for somebody, if we can make a meal for $5 for four people, it might do that single person four different meals. But for a family, it's feeding them for $5 if they're four or under. So my idea was $5 and under, at least four servings, the more the merrier. And so there was a lot of you guys with big hearts and wanted to jump in, and so it's starting tomorrow, and it's the week of breakfast. So what I'll do is I will share everybody's video as they come out, and I will make a playlist on my channel, and other channels that are taking part can make a playlist as well. So it's all in one place. And so
Mhm.
instead of, because when I used to do searching for YouTube or TikTok or wherever, it's always going individual, you know, like I want to
Yeah.
look up a easy meal. And so this will be all in one place: breakfasts, lunch, and dinners a week each. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. When I do worked on editing, I mine are gonna come out every Tuesday because I'm a tightwad on Tuesdays. No, I don't know. But it was a challenge, and I had to honestly, like, if I made enough to serve 8, I had to cut some of those meals in half to get that price
Hmm.
because, you know, that is a challenge, $5. I mean, especially if you're gonna use cheese and meat and things like that, you know, it does make for so I'm really excited about seeing what everyone does, but, I do in my channel talk about how this is what it would actually cost you if you went to take and make this same recipe I'm making today and you go to the store, this is what it would cost you. Because I thought I understood that's what you wanted, you know, like you wanted people to be able to go to the store and make a recipe for $5. Because like you said, your breakfast, you use stuff from the garden. So even though I maybe have harvested something or was gifted something, I tried to still stay within that money if I had to go buy the stuff. And maybe I misunderstood on that, but
The
um
idea was yes and no. So yes, like you don't have to go to the grocery store and just buy that $5 and that's it. It's $5 of ingredients.
yes.
Because like a carton of eggs, if you only need two for your recipe, you
Right.
don't have to count the whole carton. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the idea behind it.
But like me, normally I don't pay for eggs because I have chickens, but that
Right.
wouldn't be fair for someone wanting to learn how to make the recipe that maybe doesn't have a farm.
Yeah, that's another idea, because the person that I spoke with, no gardening, no canning, no chickens, no nothing. And so I
Uh-huh.
wanted it to be able to stay in that $5 of
Yeah,
ingredients for people that don't have access to canning
yeah.
or, you know, gardens or things like that.
And I think this is a great start because then if they want to expand on this to get some of the more elaborate things, they might learn other tricks on some of us maybe talk about like I grew my own lettuce, so I was able to, you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
And so, I'm excited. I'm excited
I
about
am
being
too.
a
I'm
part of this.
excited to see the
Yeah.
videos. And I
I
hope,
have a question
oh,
up there. I think it was how many children you have. Um,
me?
Lynn the Okie wanted to know how many children you have. Probably because you were talking about how many you were in the grocery store and, you
Oh,
see mothers with children or whatever, and so that's probably why that got brought up.
yeah, I have 4 adult children, ranging from 24 to 28, and then I have 3 grandbabies, ranging from just over 1 to 6.
That is awesome.
Mm,
Brampton Garter, yes, most stores have discount rack for food as well, produce, baked goods, canned items. I pick up some Pectin packs for $1 a few weeks
cool.
ago. Wow, you keep your eyes peeled and check. And yeah, I guess that's kind of where I was getting at with that, where I'm just one of those people who naturally um, look for a sale or a deal, or I hate food waste.
Yeah.
It's just a passion of mine. And so when gleaning is an opportunity, I do it. I'll have someone post on Facebook, I've picked all the green beans I want for the year. Come get what you want. And so I will go pick those green beans, gift them with something from my home as
Mhm.
a thank you, but then, I just put up how many quart of green beans that only cost me my time.
Right, right.
So, um, check and see if you can make it. Okay, awesome.
$5, Marilyn, $5 of ingredients. It doesn't have to be like you spend $5. I mean, if you do make a meal
Yeah.
for $5 from the grocery store, that's a challenge and then some.
Yeah. Well, that I think that's kind of what I did because I just kind of screenshotted if I were to pick up a Walmart order, just because a lot of people know Walmart, and at least in the States here, that's you can do that.
Mhm.
Um, so I tried to say, but we only used half the package of this, so you only factor in half the
Yes.
thing. But yeah, because you can't, I don't know how you could go to with $5 and kind of come
Unless
up with
it's
a meal.
sales, 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 and you're not
Yeah,
purposely trying to, because I don't know, it wasn't Stock It September challenge from Lynn. It was another challenge she did, and I can't think of the name of it. It was a grocery challenge as well. To see what $100 would buy for
oh
groceries.
yes, I did that one with her too.
Yes, and so in my video, I was like, "Sale, sale, sale," but I never used to be. I
I remember
actually
that.
went to my children because this was our first weekend, this weekend, where all of our kids and all of the grandkids actually got together, for the first time ever. We were all in one space. And so it's sometimes we'll have 3 of the kids, and so, yeah, so we were all together, and I asked them, "When you guys like, your cupboards right now, if you were to guesstimate how much food you have, would you say that you had enough food for a month? Would you say that you had enough food for a week or 2?" And they literally shop for 1 or 2 weeks, and that's it, and they don't have the extras. And so I'm trying to show them, okay, well, buy on, even if you take $10 to $20 a grocery shop and stock up on that one sale item, within a few months, you'll see, okay, you don't need to go to the grocery store because that extra sugar's there or that extra this is there, and it saves you so much time in the long run and money.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so I'm really trying to push that on them right now. But a
That's
lot of people aren't, it's week to week food, and
mhm. And
yeah.
see, I grew up that, and it's part of it was just because that's what you did, because in the winter, you could be snowed in for several days. So you stocked up every fall, you gardened, you canned, and then you had the food on the shelf, and it's just, a way of life. But there's so many people out there, especially if you live in the city, where they might go to the grocery store every other day and just get fresh meat and whatever they need. And so, yeah,
It's
it's
hard.
crazy.
Yeah, and like I have to put myself back because I used to be. I mean, I think I would have more than a week or 2 weeks of food, but I forget who I was sometimes, right? And
Mhm,
so I was a single mama before Mike, and I wasn't able to, have that stock of a lot of food. I did have probably about 3 or 4 weeks of food, but it goes back to my grandparents and the potatoes. Now I get
mhm.
it. Now I understand why they have 50 pounds of potatoes in their pantry, right? And, that's the seeds that, again, I'm hoping to plant in them, and, yeah, so
I love it. And what I just have to shamelessly put a plug in here because I try to always support all my friends.
Mhm.
Tony over at Kettle Kitchen, I was just doing a live on his channel, and he's bringing back the $10 well, I think last year was $5, but he's bringing back the pantry challenge. And I am one of the people that he's invited to do that. So once a month, we'll do what $10 a week did to help stock our pantry. And
Okay.
so that's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to that. It's like the third Sunday every month. And so we're going to do it for a year. So that's going to be kind of fun to show people what to stock up on with $10. And, my mind is spinning thinking, I used to shop the sale ads, and it's like, this is the time of year you buy this. This is the time of year you buy this. And these are things that might come natural to some people, and other people are totally clueless when if you just would have bought your sugar 2 weeks sooner, you could have saved $1 a bag.
Yeah.
So well, I need to ask you one more question. We've got just a few minutes left, but go ahead. Anybody else that has questions for any of us, go ahead and put that in the side chat for me. But I always ask people how they came up with their name. And I didn't ask you that. And so me and you, I mean, I get it when I hear it, but I will tell you the first time I saw it, I thought, man, you. I had a different because me usually is M-E
Right.
and A-N-D-Y-O-U. And so I want to know the story behind this.
It's very simple. And it's turned into multiple, like people will say it in multiple ways. And
Mhm.
so that's a fun part of it, not intentional, but that turned out to be a fun part of it. MI is for Mike, AN is for Angie, and U is for our last name. And so when it spelled it, when I put that together, I was like, hey, you
Yeah.
can make it into me and you. And that give the grandkids and viewers, and it's a me and you experience. So that's where we came up with that.
I love it. That is so cool.
Mhm.
I wondered if somehow it was a name combination, and then I was like, yeah, it's a fun play on words. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's funny to hear some of the channels talk too sometimes, but oh, Mudbrooker's here. Hello, hello. Just in time. Yep.
okay, so my dogs are gonna bark now because I have a customer. I have a little farm stand. Um,
Oh,
so if you have any words you'd like to say, I'm gonna mute for a second.
I will take a look at the chat. Um, I saw a comment a little bit earlier. It was from, let's not forget I'm going way back in chat, but Wilder said, let's not forget that you can get the whole lasagna recipe on the YouTube channel. Yes, Lanark for the homesteading conference. McDonald's, Corners, Agriculture. Yes, that's what I wanted to touch on for the homesteading conference. Somebody was asking about it earlier, so and Mennonite had mentioned Needy Homesteader. Yes, she was one person that really was a big inspiration um, in my journey to becoming a homesteader. So she was a very big inspiration. There's a couple channels. Another one that was huge for me was our half acre homestead.
Quiet.
It was our half acre homestead.
Thought I had it muted. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I started, so there we go. We're even. Our half acre homestead was another channel
Becky?
that was huge for me.
Is that what you're
So
talking about? Half Acre Homestead? Is that Becky? No, that's Acre Homestead. Who's Half Acre?
her name's Bev, and she's from around. She's a couple hours away from me, but
Yes.
they had
Okay.
kind of done some. They had kind of moved out from close to where we were originally from too, and they had moved out to a home in Quebec and started their homestead there. And the knowledge that she instilled in me is insane. Is I go to her still. I have her cookbook. I go to her channel for like how did she make this soup again? And so she just, from before I even did any videos, she was one that I followed. And so yeah, she was a big inspiration, and she made me feel, okay, if Bev can do it, so can I. And because we left our careers, we'd never been to this area before, and so
Wow.
we made that leap. I had the day we put in an offer for the property, um, on, I think, a Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, and the next day, I was working at a local college, and we had tried for years to get me in contract or out of contract and into the union, and I put an offer in on the cabin with the property, and the next day I got that phone call for the interview.
Oh, wow.
And so Mike and I talked over the weekend. I cried. I'm like, do I go after my dream or do I go after my dream career? And we chose this dream. And so it was bittersweet to leave, but I remember feeling like, if Bev can make that jump, so can I, because she's so down to earth. She's a lovely soul. And so, yes, so she was one of the big pushes for me mentally, to be able to do it. Of course, we had to do, the actual leaving and
Right.
making that choice, but she was a big inspiration. Same with Heather, from the Needy Homesteader. She was a big inspiration for me too. And yeah, so
That's
there was,
awesome. I
yeah.
love that. Well,
Yeah,
guys, we have reached our hour according
it
to my time clock there. I know it went fast, didn't it?
did. Yeah.
Um, oh, looky here. Now see that
Oh,
it came
Lynn,
full circle, and now you have inspired others to do the same. Isn't that fantastic feeling?
making me gonna cry, Lynn.
Getting her in her feels.
Getting me right.
Yes, yes.
You honestly, all of the channels that, and Lynn is another good friend, and you know, they've all inspired me. Even if I don't always say it, they've inspired me. Lynn, when you came out with the Stock It September, it started this whole collab that I'm even doing. And I went to Lynn for help because I've never done a collab before, and she loves them and she does really good at them. So I went to her, and so thank you for your help, and you're an inspiration for many, many people, including myself too. So
Definitely. I was so impressed with Lynn, and not just impressed wouldn't be maybe. I mean, I am impressed, but proud. Like, cuz I feel like I know Lynn on a little bit more of a personal level because we've done collaborations together, we've emailed a few times, and she makes you feel like you're right there with her, by the way, anyway. But I was just so beyond excited for her when she did the Every Bit Counts challenge this year, and she stuck with it every single day, and her channel grew exponentially, and I
I
was
know,
just,
I'm so proud of her.
yes, I couldn't have been more happy for anybody. I tell you what, that I was just so excited for her at that moment when that all was going down. I mean, it was fun. I cannot remember, Lynn, if you're still in here. Oh yeah, there, she's still here. Um, I cannot remember one of the very first times watched her channel was she was redoing some furniture in a garage, but you had started a collaboration and then she got hacked. And then I thought, oh no, we're not going to see her again. And she's like, nope, I'm back. I'm back, guys.
She was one of the reasons too. So we had something different happen. My bank account, all my socials, everything, even like Amazon, PayPal, everything was broken
Oh,
into. The only
oh,
thing that wasn't was YouTube. And so I'd put in a chat. Long story short, I don't know if I want to continue. I felt, like robbed almost of my social media presence, and she said, "Don't let them win." And so that started the seed, that planted the seed in my brain. And it took me a minute, but I'm not going to let them win. And
well, you
so
just feel so vulnerable.
I
I mean,
did.
it's going to take a little time to
Yeah.
get past that.
Yeah. Especially with the bank, that I know social medias get hacked, but with our bank, it was insane. Like within minutes, somebody, I don't know if you guys have this in the States. I can send an email transfer of money to somebody. It's kind of like PayPal, but it's through the bank.
Mhm.
And someone tried emailing all our money to themselves. And I just happened to have text alerts on my phone and caught it. And we called the bank. And as we were on the phone with the bank, they were trying to e-transfer them. So thankfully the bank said, nope, stop that e-transfer.
Oh,
They closed everything
wow.
down. But yeah, so it exactly, Lynn, it's such a violation, and that's exactly how I felt. And I'm like, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to let them win, and I'm slowly getting back into it. So,
All right. That's
yes,
awesome.
I can't believe it's been an hour. It's been a
I
good chat.
know. And I would talk to you probably for another hour, but I don't want to do that to you or the rest of the people because we have other things going on, and I don't know if they're doing it this week or not, but I know a lot of times on Sundays oh, now why can I not think of her channel?
Oh, back to basics.
Yes, thank
Just
you.
noticed it was after 7. I think she's 7 or 7:30.
7:30, I think, is what I saw because I tried to squeeze right in between a couple of people that I knew would be having lives, and so I want to respect that. And everyone, go check her out
Yes.
and see what if she's having a live tonight and what she has to say. And if you do go, make sure that you give a love raid and you say Angie and Angie sent me,
Yeah,
just for fun.
the
So.
double 18.
Yes, the double 18. That's even better. I love that. I love that. So
Yes.
thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Angie, for coming on
Thank
here
you.
and visiting with us. I loved getting to know you a little bit better.
Me as
So
well. Thank you, everybody. It was nice to meet you all.
yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.